Hello guys, and welcome back to the another class of our course about Python. So in today's class our main topic would be for loops, and you will see it's not hard to understand. When you practice it you will see it's gonna be very easy. Alright, so basically what are loops? Loops are technically loop that used for iterating over a sequence. So sequence could be a dictionary, could be a list, could be a string, could be a numbers, could be a set of numbers, could be a tuple, could be all those together. So basically what it does, it will execute this statement and once for each item in the list tuple, it could be numbers, it could be dictionaries, whatever. So what does this all mean? Very simple. Let's say for example, you have a list of things. Well, when you are going to make your for loop, for example, we will use for loop. What's going to happen is that each element will be printed. So let's have an example. Let's use for example colors. So in this case, we will have a variable that will be named colors. And in this case, we will create our list. So let's say we will have blue, red, orange, and black. Alright, so we have a list of 4 colors right here now. And let's say we want to use our for loop. So how exactly this for loop works? So very simple. Write down for. So this will be our for loop. Then let's say for example one color. Since in this case we are talking about colors, we will say for one color in colors. So in this case colors is the name of our list. Print one color. Great. So if we run our app, as you can see each color will be printed. These things right here which is one color can be changed. So it for example just X, and here we also change X. And if I run my app, as you can see it still work. So it's very simple to use. So basically what exactly does loops? It simply prints every element, let's say a list, string, number, absolutely anything. So let's try it just an string to show you guys what exactly it's. So let's say this time we'll says for letter. Since we are going to print letters in this case we will let's say the word blue. Print letter, because we are printing letters. So when we run our app, as you can see blue is printed this way. So we ask Python to print each letter of the string. Alright, another thing in which you can use the for loop. So in this case how we can run all this? Well, it's very simple. Let's say for example we once again have a set of colors. So let's name it colors. In this case we write equal to and put our colors here. So let's say we have black, yellow, green, and finally last one will be red. Alright, we have our 4 colors, and right now what we want to do, let's say we want to stop iteration at green. So everything will stop at green. So we will only generate black, yellow and green. In this case it's very simple. The way it's gonna be written down, we will use the our for loop. So for example in this case it's colors. So let's name it, let's say for one color. But It could be X or Y or any letter. In colors, so print one color. Alright, so all this means so very simple for one color. So only one color in colors. In this list, print one color. So what's gonna happen? It's gonna print each color one after the other. So if we run our app, as you can see, we have black, yellow, green and red. But if we want to stop our iteration at green, for example, it's very simple. We can use an if statement and simply write down one color. If one color equal to, in this case, green. We want to loop to stop, so we write down break. So in this case, we will use break statement. And if you run our app, as you can see, we will have black, yellow and green. Everything is going to stop at green. So once again, this is just by using break statement. So if you use the break statement, it's going to all stop here. Let's see the for loop. It's something not very hard to understand. It's something that is very simple. The main goal of for loop is simply to print everything that can be in a list, in a string and in a numbers. So let's have another example. So in this case, we will talk about another statement which is range statement, and in this case, let's say we have for, let's say, number in range. So 6, print number. Alright, if you run our app, as you can see, it's gonna print all numbers from 0 to 6. But it's not going to print number 6. And if for example we want to print just numbers that are in, let's say, from one to another, so in this case, let's say we want to print out numbers between them. It could be 20 and 30. You can just write it down in this way and run our app. As you can see, it's gonna put all the numbers that are between 20 to 30. But just not 30 that you can see. As you can see, it's not something very hard to understand, and those are simply the basics of for loop. So the way that you can use it can be more complex, but in this case, this is just simple part of for loop. So as you can see guys, I explained to the for loop. The main reason why the for loop exists is really to help you all the elements of, let's say, it could be list, it could be a dictionary, it could be string, it could be number in range of numbers. So right now you understand how it works. So that's it for this class guys. See you all in next class.